So I talked earlier, the 4 elements of human behavior. We're going to adjust those a little bit. Now, instead of who are we, meaning Jim and Mary, who are we to each other? We're not Jim and Mary anymore. So who are we? Why don't you come up, Allison? Come on up, Jim. Bring your notes if you're taking any.
Bring who?
Notes. I know, photographic memory.
No.
Absorbing. This is the stuff that you can actually write down. For those of you who need to write something. So, Jim and Mary, but who are we to each other? Ex-lovers?
Yes.
Sound good? High school, well, that's the history, but what we are right now.
Okay.
Love interest.
Love interest?
Possible mates.
Possible mates?
Old friends.
We hope so. I think ex-lovers, don't you?
Yeah.
Really? I mean, that's probably the best one. And let's go over again where we are, but we're going to make it more specific. So where are we? Where in Springfield? Police precinct? Alley behind the okay. This is more specific. It's where he belongs. He belongs here. She does not. Do you follow? Do you understand the distinction? It's not that we're keeping her out. It's just this is his home turf, so to speak. Okay? So that's who we are to each other, where it is. Let's talk about when. When is it? What makes sense? The playwright doesn't tell us.
Years after their breakup.
Uh-huh. How long?
Years.
A year?
After their breakup.
Oh, a year?
A year.
Well, it depends on what you want it to be. What makes sense to you?
I'd say 2.5 years.
2.5 years, and that's what it is. Okay, long enough to leave and exactly. Okay, doesn't matter if it's a year. They're not going to notice that you're acting 2.5 years or a year. Well, what time of day? Daytime? Afternoon? Morning? Afternoon? What?
She just arrived.
She just arrived. So what makes sense to you? Don't forget, you all are now crafting Mary's and Jim's. It's not what the writer wrote, because we got all the writer wrote. Now it's up to us. Okay? So you want to make it what works for you.
Right.
Do you understand? If you're Mary, flying from New York to Springfield, wherever that Springfield happens to be. Do you follow? If it's Illinois, it's further than Massachusetts.
Right.
Yeah. So, what time of day? Evening? I can't now?
Actually, not.
I can't now? Borrowed time? Borrowed time, I'll call you later? Huh? Afternoon? Yeah, exactly.
2:30.
Yeah. Early afternoon? Yeah, kind of makes sense based upon, I'll call you later. So, what other times do we have?
Spring.
Spring. Makes sense, right? What month? May? Month of May? Why not? What?
I like the way she thinks. Yeah. Wear something cute.
There you go.
We're nodding at her.
Exactly. So, what year?
2011.
2011?
Sure.
Present day? Why not? Unless it's a period piece, which we'll talk about a little later. So now we have what? All the elements of human behavior. Almost. The givens are who we are to each other, where it is, all the parts to where, when it is, and all the parts to when. Right? Anything more about all of that? Okay. Who has the first line of dialogue? That means this person has a beat alone. A beat alone. I'll give you a definition of a beat first. A beat is where you're doing one thing, one way, for one reason. So what are you doing?
I'm turning off my cell phone.
There you go. In the audition. It's a good idea. Yeah, it is. It's a good idea. So where are you?
I'm at my desk.
You're at your desk? Doing your paperwork in the audition? Interesting, isn't it? What do you do? Do you stand there in front of the camera and wait for the camera to go? Wait for the person, the reader, to say something? What do you do? Therein lies the rub. You have 3 choices in a beat alone. Pray, figure out, or recall. Pray, figure out. She's already got it. Pray, figure out, or recall. What serves you in this scene, Jim?
Figure out.
What is it that you're figuring out?
What all the commotion is in the alley.
There's no commotion in the alley.
No?
There's no commotion. Now you're writing a script.
Oh.
Who's the object of your behavior? She is. What are you doing? Looking at her.
Oh. Right.
See how simple you have to get for camera? You can't act commotion in the alley. Do you follow? Sounds good. It sounds good, actually. Do you understand? But it doesn't work. So you're looking at her. What are you doing? Praying, figure out, or recalling?
Now I'm praying.
No, I bet you are. That's what she had right away. You bet your ass you're praying, baby.
With a quick follow-up with figuring out why she's here.
Yeah, well, one thing at a time. Exactly. Yeah, praying. The camera will see that. The camera will see who she is to you. Emotion creates reality. Who she is to you at that moment, the camera will see. Then we'll watch you. Pray. That doesn't mean do this. Okay? All acting is to, for, and off of an object of your behavior. The object has to be clear in the audition room, and the object is the reader. In this case, we're auditioning for Jim now. Follow me? The reader is the object. So she's Mary. Or he. You all have to know how to do this, even when it's not the gender you prefer. But you also have to know how to do this when you get on a set. And the actor that you've already got the job, the actress that you're working with is in the costume and makeup trailer for your close-up because she has other work to do. You have to work off that empty chair. You have to work off of a script supervisor or an intern who's reading her words. You can't hold up a sign and say, not the same person, my acting's gonna suck. You have to turn that object. So, what are you doing? Praying. Because you feel what? How do you feel? Emotion creates reality. Every action has an inherent emotion in it, actually. We human beings feel things because of what has happened or what's going to happen. And sometimes it's a combination. Quite often it's a combination of both. But you're praying. That's your instinct. You all following this? We're crafting the first moment. Actors lose the audition in the first 10 or 12 seconds. Casting directors have said that. Not me. They do. Because you're not clear at the first moment. So, you're praying because of how you feel. And you feel how you feel because of what has happened or what's going to happen.
Both. What
No,
has happened?
you can only have one. Only actors can work for many different reasons.
What has happened?
And what are you praying about? Interesting. Yeah. See, now he wants to hit me. Yeah, put you on the spot. That's what they do. Those folks are watching your audition on tape when they're up there in Toronto. Watching your work on tape.
Well, one choice is that she's not going to kill me.
She isn't. How do you know that?
I'm praying that she doesn't.
Really? Is that going to work for you?
One choice.
It is a choice. It's a love scene.
Perfect.
You can make a lot of choices, but the writer is sending you down a very narrow path. So there's not as many choices as you think.
Wow.
Wow is right. Stick with pray. Everybody agrees that you're praying. What are you praying for?
For
What do you say that you want in the scene?
I want to be back together with
That's
Mary.
right. The writer told you what you're praying for. See? Yeah. So, an event in terms of what's going to happen. You're praying that she'll come back to you. That's a future event. How do you feel about that? Emotions, guys. Guys, this is hard for guys. Okay? So, interesting. It's okay. Every event has a history. So how would you characterize what happened between the two of you? What did happen?
Well, she got fed up.
She got fed up.
She left.
Because you did what?
I didn't pay as much attention to her as I
That's
should.
what you didn't do. So you didn't pay attention to her by doing what?
Spend more time at work.
Yeah. So how would you characterize that? We human beings, listen to this carefully, folks. This is really the tough part. Sherlock Holmes thing is. Yeah. This is the tough part. We human beings talk about stuff in cliches. It's only when we become actors we have to talk about them in terms of facts and story. Do you follow? How was your lunch? Great. No fact. I had Thai food. Do you understand? Great. We talk in cliches. We talk in characterizations. Do you follow? So what did you do? I don't want the story. We got the story. What did you do that caused her to go to New York, and now you're praying that she stays now that she's back? It's a characterization. This is the hard part. You're on the hot seat.
What did I do?
Yeah, how would you characterize it? She's already done it. You can see it in her eyes. What did you characterize it? Yeah, you fucked up.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Made a mistake.
Yeah, made a mistake. Big fucking mistake, right?
Yeah.
Totally fucked up. That's how we talk. That's why you all are laughing. Do you understand? Him working too hard, nobody laughed. Because we talk in cliches. That's why we laugh. It's human. Remember I talked earlier? Human universals. How many of us in this room has ever fucked up? Yeah! Except for Paul. Paul's never fucked up. Okay? Do you understand? That's how we deal in life. That's what we have to create for the camera. Do you understand? I totally fucked up. How do you feel? Because after fucking up, she's back. History event. How do you feel?
Lucky.
Yeah. What are you beginning to do because you feel lucky? Pray. It's the way you're going to pray.
Prayer of gratitude.
Yay. Amen. Do I hear an amen?
That helps a lot.
It does help a lot.
Sure.
I'm trying to be helpful.
You're great.
Yeah. Now, could other choices be made? Sure. But not too far from this, because you use all of the information from the writer. The writer has written from character for the most part. You follow? They know what they want you to do. They don't have a bunch of time here with these, probably half-hour show or an hour show. Probably an hour show. Okay? So that's what you're doing. You're praying. So now the scene has started. Now I'm going to answer your question, young lady. What do you do? On the way... No, I can't do it with this character. Sorry. Erase that. I have to do it with her. Because this is a surprise. This is a surprise for him. I forgot. I'll do it with hers. Forget that. What did I say? Back it up. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay. Now then. If you were to call her something, what would you call her? A name.
Sweetie.
Sweetie. Then that's who she is. She's not Mary. She's not my acting partner. She's Sweetie. Do you follow? I'm not saying that she has to like that, okay? Do you understand? But that's what it is. Baby, sweetie, babe, honey. Do you follow? Because she, in fact, at this very moment, is the most important person in your life. Wouldn't you say that? Isn't that what the writer wrote? The women are going, yeah. Yeah. Get on with it. You follow me? Okay. So now we know who she is, and we know what you would call her, sweetie. So when you look at that reader, when you look at that person, you can say sweetie and mean it, and the camera will see it, and everybody will fall in love with you. Do you understand? And it's empty. She's not an empty chair. There's an empty chair. You follow? Sweetie. You're not acting facts. You're acting what? Human universals. She's still writing for you? You devil. You understand? Do you follow? Anybody lost here? It's hard to trust this because it's so fucking simple. Has anybody ever called you a sweetie? See, she smiled. Instant. So now what do? She's a sweetie. Right? What do you want to get her to understand? Most of us were taught, I feel something because of what has happened or what's going to happen. Right? I do something because of how I feel. And I do something to get what I want. How many of you were taught that? That's pretty standard Meisner kind of stuff. Well, that's what human beings do. We do that. That's it. That's the sum total of all human behavior. What I teach is not what you want to get the person to do, which is what I was taught. What I teach is what you want to get the person to understand about you, so that the result will happen. What do you want to get her to understand about you?
That I realize I made a mistake, and I want to change, so that she'll want to be with me.
There you go.
I ruined my life for you.
See what's happening to him as he's talking about it? That's your rehearsal. You don't get rehearsal for TV and film. You know, in theater we have all those wonderful weeks, sometimes 3, sometimes 4. We can actually rehearse. This is it. You just did your rehearsal. Trusting that that is enough is very difficult, especially for theater trained people, because you think you have to do more. You know, it's hard to look at her now, isn't it? Yeah, see? It's done. You all see how fast this is? I didn't push him in that direction. I just asked him some questions that you have to answer how? Truth. Cliche. Human universal. Not plot, not story.
Can you give a quick definition of human universal?
I have to show them to you.
Okay.
They're cliches. It's like, how was your blind date last night? Oh, God. Do you understand? That's a human universal. That's why you all laugh. Everybody understands what it means, but now we're going, so, tell me what happened. And now we get into plot. But, oh, God is very clear.
Right. Okay.
Okay? So, what's at stake if you don't get her to understand that? The camera doesn't see acting. The
I'm going
camera
to be
sees.
lonely. I'm going to continue to be lonely.
Do you understand what that means?
Yes.
Yeah. Anybody in this room not understand lonely? Wow, that's really amazing, isn't it? Human universal.
Got it.
Do you understand? We don't give a damn about New York and consulting and cops and all that kind of crap. What the camera sees is what? I'm going to be, look at her face. I'm going to be lonely forever. This is what we do as actors, but we get all lost in the lines. We get lost in the story. We get lost in the plot. We get lost in the wrong things. Lonely forever. Ooh. Think about that for a while. Emotional preparation for camera. Don't do that. We human beings don't prepare to be emotional. We were taught that as young actors, so we would know that we could go there and blah, 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 blah. For those of us who studied with folks who loved emotional preparation, you know those hours you would spend? So you could burst through that door and act your ass off. There ain't no door, it's a camera. So the camera wants to see behind your eyes, down into your groin, down into your soul. And that's what you just did. Get a camera and watch yourself do it, and then you'll begin to trust, which is going to be hard for some of you because this is easy stuff. It's hard for me to teach it because it's so exact, but once you start doing it, it's real easy. Then you think, oh my God, I have to do more. I should do more. I don't have enough information. I need to write it all down for you writers. Do you understand? It's in you. You're an actor. You've been trained to do this. Where's it going to go? You're sitting there now understanding who he is for the very first time. We know all of the other stuff from Sherlock Holmes. Now, when you begin to put this together with Sherlock Holmesing, it begins to happen at the same time. I'm separating them so you know what can happen. It's like an outline. Do you follow me? Okay? But all of this will begin to be affected instantly as you Sherlock Holmes, if you practice. And you know I have friends, right? I told you that before. Okay? So what's at stake? Loneliness forever. Or maybe not forever, but for a long time. There ain't no spring chicken, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you follow? Answering his question. If he doesn't use his wonderful age and experience and looks, he's a crazy man. Get out of the business. You know how valuable that man is? And for those of you who go, oh, everybody has to be 20, I want you to do this. I want you to turn off the sound and watch one show after another and count how many of you are on the show and how many 20-somethings are on the show. And don't go to CW and all that. Come on. Okay? Don't go to Nickelodeon. Okay? I mean, you can bust me if you want to, but you know what I'm saying? Okay? There's a lot more of us than they. Okay? So you nervous?
No.
Not at all.
Well,
Well,
a little bit.
well, I hope so. It keeps you a little
mean-
sharp.
yeah.
Yeah. But you can't wait to get to the scene. I can feel it in it. Can you all see that? Now we've rehearsed several days together.
Now I'm nervous.
Now you're nervous. Understand? So what I'm teaching you, other than Sherlock Holmesing, that helps a great deal. But all of this begins to lower the nerves because you're not there for any other reason than to deal with this object. Robert Duvall talks about it in terms of capturing the other actor. And that's exactly how he said it. Capturing the other actor. Stanislavski talks about it in terms of the magic circle within which no one comes, for those of you who know Stanislavski. I added to that, uninvited. No one, because of auditioning, no one comes in my circle uninvited. And that includes the producers, the writers, all those people back there. No one invades my circle. Everything that you do for auditioning applies to the real world as well. Okay? This is the safety net. This is how you protect yourself. Okay? Another Robert Duvall quote, protect your craft. It's the only thing that you've got other than time. Think about that for a minute. It's the only thing you've got other than time. Protect your craft. People will try to steal it from you. People will try to fuck with you about it. The business will try to interfere with it. And shame on you if you let them. You're artists. Anybody read The Artist's Way? Yeah. Some good shit in there. Right? Yeah, we're artists. Ever since 9/11, I was in my loft getting ready to teach on 9/11, and when it happened, although I wouldn't have known anything about it if it hadn't been for television, because the wind was blowing away from my loft. And my assistant came up totally distraught because she lived down near there. And of course, we were all beside ourselves, and I put a sign on the door saying, come on up if you need shelter and all that. I went out and bought a whole bunch of beer, I wasn't even smoking then, a couple cartons of cigarettes, all the staples for an emergency, right? And I didn't have very many people come up, but I was standing in I have windows, huge windows, I'm on the second floor of Broadway in Bleecker, and I'm looking down on Broadway, and I saw people running this way covered in soot, and people running that way clean. And sometimes they would find the person they were looking for. You all are emotional firemen. Your job is to run into the burning emotional building as a lesson to those who are watching you. That's your job. You have to know those parts of yourself and have the courage to go there. You do provide a service over and above just simple entertainment. You follow me? You only have one person to justify your work to, and that is your character. You follow? What is your first name, really?
Jed.
Jed? Is it? Oh,
I
Jed.
wouldn't make that up.
No, but I mean Jed. You know? Do you understand? Jed's job, okay, is to do Jim justice. That's your job. Do you understand? Allison's job is to do Mary justice. Think of it this way. If they were doing your movie, wouldn't you want them to do you justice? Well, think about it. It's you and your character. The actors that you all admire, some of them I had the good fortune to work with, this is how they work. They talk about it this way. They talk about character. They talk about the problems. Okay? So let's move on. There's more to do here, but let's move on to Mary. So, who are you to each other? Ex-lovers?
He's
Whatever.
he's my first love.
See? First love. Somebody said that over here. Childhood sweethearts. Somebody said that. Do you follow? High school sweethearts. Yeah. First love. Okay? Look at the eyes. That's amazing. First, memories. Pictures are starting to come. Okay? I want you to think of your first love's first name right now, everybody. Some are laughing, some are not. You understand? Pictures, right? Yeah. Maybe even events, but we don't want to know about those. Okay? And where are you?
Where am I?
Yeah.
At the top?
And all the parts of where? At the first moment. We're crafting the first moment. Okay? All the parts to where?
I am in the precinct.
Mm-hmm.
And I, like, there's like desks like open
Mm-hmm.
and just like NYPD blue.
There you go. There it is.
And
Good show.
he's like on the other side of the room
There you go.
and nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See what happens when you start doing this? You don't need emotional preparation. Oh, I've got to remember the time that my dog got run over by the car, and then I right? We all did that, right? Sorry. Yeah. Do you understand? You see what happens when you begin to work this way? If you just allow yourself to be open to it and not uptight and worried about being right, just allowing things to happen. That's what the camera sees. The camera doesn't see all that right stuff. It sees deer caught in the headlights of a car. Do you follow? Okay. So, what are the other parts of where? Springfield?
Springfield.
Precinct?
And for me, it's late morning because I
There
caught
you
an
go.
early flight. It was just a couple hours, like 6 a.m. flight, you know. So it's like 11. It's hot out. I have like a crappy little rental that like jerks around. What else?
What other parts of when? You said
It's
11-ish,
spring.
spring.
It's spring, yeah. I like that.
Present day?
Present day,
May, June, July, when?
like May.
May, like
yeah,
May. Yeah. Do you understand? Do you see any nervousness here? When your attention is off of yourself creating, you're not going to be nervous. Why? Can't do two things fully at the same time. Thank you, Sanford Meisner. Can't happen.
I have a question. You said don't do emotional preparation beforehand. But can you live in that fantasy
Do
world?
what she's doing. That's the emotional preparation.
Okay.
You're working from your history, not trying to get emotional about your
but
history.
just
Right.
live in that emotional world.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Here's the secret for close-ups, folks. It's a close-up. Everything that you're feeling, they're going to see. We hope it's the feelings that were written in the script. and not feelings that actors are having when they realize that they're fucking up the audition. Sees it. Camera sees it. Ask casting directors what they see a lot of. Do you follow? Okay. So that's who you are to each other. So he has the beat alone. You have the first line of dialogue. And what is that? Remind us again.
Excuse me, is that your car blocking the alley?
Now, what do you know?
I know it's his car.
That's right.
Yeah.
You do. And?
And
So what's the most obvious to you right now? The emotional. It's making you laugh. Do you
Yeah.
follow? So is that how is that how what the writer wrote Mary feeling? Is that kind of giddiness? That
yeah,
kind of,
I think there's something playful
yeah,
going on.
exactly.
She's playing a little flirty game with
Little
him.
flirty game.
Yeah.
That's her choice. Do you follow? She's taking. They're not going to go. Where did she get the choice? Do you understand? It's there. It's written.
Yeah.
Now, there may be more than one choice written
Yeah.
for other actors, but
Yeah.
they're not going to wonder where you got it.
Yeah.
So playful
Yeah.
because of what has happened or what's going to happen,
Because of what's going to happen.
and what is going to happen.
We're going to reconnect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's that.
Yeah.
After what? Because every event has a history.
It's been like 2 years.
Mm.
So it's kind of heavy, so let's just lighten it up a little.
Yeah. After missing him like crazy,
Yeah.
now you're back.
Thinking about him a lot.
Yeah. Especially after Mr. Special in New York
Yeah.
laid that honky diamond on you.
Mm-hmm.
That clunk on the table. Right. They're at the cabin.
Yeah.
I see in pictures, you follow, so I know all of this. This is how you get off the book, by the way. There's going to be other stuff I'm going to show you, too. So, what are you doing to him? What's the action? He's praying, you're doing what? What are you
Trying to figure out if he's going to play with me.
Okay, is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not teasing him? Say you all,
Yeah.
It's not my first rodeo. Teasing.
Yeah.
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 That's probably what you're doing, teasing
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Based upon playful and everything else that you said.
Absolutely, yeah.
You're teasing him to get him to understand what about you that I want.
I want to give it another shot.
That's what you want to give it. What do you want? That's not about,
about
you.
me.
That's. Do you understand? I want to give it another shot as a story.
Yeah.
That she's not still pissed.
That's what she's not. Can't act a not.
Oh, right.
Sounds good though, doesn't it? And we fool ourselves. We fool ourselves.
She still cares.
She still cares. What else? Anything else?
She's available.
Use all the You're getting closer. Use all the information in the scene. What do you say? Anytime you have a line that says "I want," look at it closely, because it's a clue to what you want to get the person to understand about you.
She's willing to forgive.
Uh-huh.
She's doing better than she was.
She's still interested, or she wouldn't be here, so he knows that. Well, keep going. What's the want line?
She wants to give it another shot.
Uh-huh.
She doesn't want to move this fast.
Yeah, you're getting there. Uh-huh.
Is it?
She wants him to know that somebody else wants her.
Yeah, a little bit. Keep going.
I want to talk about what happened.
What do you say there?
He says, I think you and I should talk about things, and I say, that's what I was hoping to do.
That's what I was hoping to do. That's the big line. Do you understand? She was hoping, story-wise, to do what? Talk about things. What do you want to get him to understand about you?
She's matured.
Why she
That
ran
I
off.
still love him.
Huh?
That I still love him.
Close.
That I.
What? Now, the reason I'm pushing this around a little bit is this is what you do as an actor, because now you're going through everything your character has gone through. She's searching for what she wants as Mary. You follow me? And this is going to lead to answering your question, young lady, which is humanizing. So in your car, on the way to the audition, or in the subway, or however you all get to auditions, you understand? You talk out loud about that dilemma. It'll change your life. You will not be nervous. The scene has already started when you put that key in the ignition, or even before. Talk out loud.
Shouldn't you know the answer before you've gotten in your car on your way there?
Answer about what? You're doing-
I'm lost. I mean, like, when you're driving there, you're asking yourself, what do I want?
No. You're talking about what you want. You're not asking yourself. Yeah. You're talking about, maybe I shouldn't have come back. God, I hope he's there. What if he's with someone else?
Yes.
I should have called. No, I'm not going to call him. I am going to find out where he stands. God, do I really love that guy back in New York? I don't know. Okay, I'm going to do this. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because that's what we do as human beings.
Yeah.
Everything I teach is what we do as human beings.
Yep.
But you're not supposed to use it when you're actors. That makes no sense to me. There's a different way of doing it when you're an actor. Do you follow me? It's crazy, isn't it? This is what we do. Don't we have that tape going on? And some of us even talk out loud. I've heard through the grapevine that you actually talk out loud. I want you to talk out loud in this case.
Vocalizing your internal monologue.
Okay. Yeah, I don't put it that way, but sure, that's what it is. Just talk out loud about what you don't want, the fears, trepidations. Oh my God, what if? Just what we do in life. You can get the call from the IRS. What happens? Oh God. You understand? And then they say, you never cashed your last check. Oh, I love you now, IRS. Do you follow? So you humanize. So what's at stake if you don't get him? What do you want him to understand about you? That I what?
That I still want him?
Yep. What happens if you don't get him to understand that? Ooh, ouch. Sorry.
I go back to New York.
Go back to New York. I loved it, especially after what happened here. So what does Mr. Special look like in New York?
He's very handsome.
Yeah?
He's
else?
smart and successful and it's good.
Yeah.
But it's not this.
Yeah. Do you understand? You hear what she said? It's good. It's. And then she went, that's emotional preparation. That is a cliche. Everyone knows what that means. We don't know the facts, but we know what it means. Years ago, I was going out with a girl, and every time I knew I was in real trouble, I heard that sound. I went, oh, here it comes. What did I do now? Yeah. So what do you want to get? What's at stake?
Like a fantasy of what it could be.
Mm-hmm.
A dream.
Mm-hmm.
Of who we could be together.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, you do. You're doing the I don't knows.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no conclusions here.
Yeah.
You understand? Just like in life, we don't have conclusions.
Yeah.
We just keep going on and on and on, and I could do this or I could do that. And what if this happens and that happens? And do you follow? This gets rid of the nerves. There is no right here. This is my dream. What's Bob Dylan's line? I'll let you, if I can be in your dream, I'll let you be in mine, or something like that. Do you understand? Exactly. This is the dream. This is your dream. There's no right or wrong to this dream. There's no right or wrong to this daydream. There's no right or wrong to your loneliness as compared to somebody else's loneliness. Human universals. And every scene has at least one. Sometimes if there's a major beat change, you might have two. And it's a love scene, clearly, right? Jim and Mary, biblical. Biblical element. He's just looking at you. You understand? It's hard not to be where you need to be for an audition if you work this way, unless you let your mind start fucking with you. You understand? And you worry about being right or wrong. So, every scene has a title. What's the title to this scene, do you all think? Title is another human universal. Quite often songs are titles. If you look at episodes, for episodics, there'll be titles. There's a big clue. Every scene has a title.
I want you back.
Can you you're not wrong. Can you expand on that? Let's talk about him. I think this is clear for him. So what is his title?
Baby, come back.
Now or never, baby. That's mine. Do you understand? It's now or never. Don't ask me to sing, but you got it. Okay. Any other titles come to mind for Jim's character? What this scene is about for
I hope
him?
this all works out.
Huh?
I hope this all works out.
Yep. Exactly.
Second chance.
Huh? Second chance. There you go.
Where have you been?
Redemption.
I want to hold your hand.
I want to hold your hand. Yeah. Song titles. Great place to look for titles. Because they are what? Human universals. Everybody understands I want to hold your hand. Without even the music, actually.
Let's get it
Just
on.
let's get it on. There you go. Let's get it on. Exactly. What's Allison's title? What was Mary's? Sorry, Mary's title. What? Come on. Come on, be shy writing. What is it?
Hit me, baby, one more
Hit me, baby, one more time.
Do
Okay.
it to me one more time.
Do it to me one more time.
Do you still love me?
Do you still love me? What else? Anything else come to mind?
Baby, I miss you.
I'll read it.
Is that a gun in your pocket?
Huh? I think it was a pickle in your pocket. Are you just glad to see me? Anything else?
Love's much
May
better
West.
the second time around.
There you go. Perfect.
Hey.
Love is better. What do you say? Love is better the second time around? Yep. Yep. So I want you all to be, in my book there's going to be a list of titles and cliches, and there'll be more specific elements there. But I want you to begin to think about it in this way. Don't think about what is this scene about. It's either love or power. Done. What's the title of it? What's the human universal? What's the dilemma of my character? That's what the scene is about. Don't get lost in cops, New York, Springfield. That's not what this scene is about. Cool, huh? Cool stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Good stuff? Let's just do the scene. Just sit there and look at each other and do it.
Excuse me. Is that your car blocking the alley?
Yeah, it's my car. Why, are you gonna call a cop?
I was thinking about it.
I happen to be one. A detective, as a matter of fact.
Wow, that's new.
I got a promotion when you weren't looking.
I'm impressed.
We haven't spoken in a while.
New York can get a little crazy.
Yeah, you should check out Springfield.
That's why I'm here.
Okay, you see what happened?
Beautiful.
Just like we rehearsed it. Yeah, amazing what happened. I didn't see that in the script there was any laughter written in. Did you? Nope. Probably should not be there. Did you? Because we're doing all this stuff. Right? It doesn't say laugh.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, damn. What's wrong with you? How human. The camera wants human. That's what the camera wants. It wants human. So, I want to do a little exercise, okay, with this script. What do you want to get him to understand about you, Allison?
But I want him
Mary?
back.
Huh?
I want him back.
Okay. Now, here is how you marry, no pun intended, marry what the scene is about in terms of through line or spine of the scene. And the spine of the scene, the through line of the scene, is what you want to get the person to understand about you. This is amazing in terms of rehearsal.
Wait, what?
Okay? It's the through line. Okay? It's the spine of the scene. It's called the through line exercise. This is what you do at home. Okay? You all with me?
Yes.
All right? You don't say anything. We're just going to use you because you're sitting there. You say the other actor's line silently. You say yours out loud. And after every one of your lines, you follow me? You say out loud the through line. Because I want you back. Is that what it is? So she's at home alone, sitting at her dining room table, script on the table, reading his lines silently, saying hers out loud, and after every line saying, because I want you back. And she's saying that to an empty chair.
But I'm going to say it to him, right?
Yeah, because he's
Okay.
here.
Excuse me, is that your car blocking the alley? Because I want you back? I was thinking about it. Because I want you back. Wow. That's new. Because I want you back. I'm impressed. Because I want you back. New York can get a little crazy. Because I want you back. That's why I'm here. Because I want you back. Just now. Because I want you back. I'm sorry. I really am. Because I want you back. I loved it. It was a nice change after what happened here. Because I want you back. I was doing some consulting and they offered me a full-time position. Because I want you back. No. It wasn't. Because I want you back. I don't know. I want to see how it goes here. Because I want you back. That depends. Because I want you back. On whether you move your car or not. Because I want you back. That's what I was hoping to do. Because I want you back. Oh, you don't have to explain anything. I know that this is borrowed time. Because I want you back. I don't want to go that fast. Because I want you back. I'll call you later. Because I want you back.
That's your rehearsal. Pretty powerful stuff, ain't it?
Yeah.
Sitting home alone, just going through it. All those pictures will start flooding what you really want cemented into you. Not what the scene is about, but what you really want, because all scenes are about what we want, not what the scene is about. It's about what we want. You follow me? Okay? So let's do the through line exercise on this side. You follow? So you can leave your glasses on the whole time. You don't have to worry about it. All right? You begin by praying. That's the first moment for you. Okay? And she interrupts that, doesn't she? By saying, is that your car blocking the alley? And what do you want to get her to understand about you? That I what?
I fucked up.
Well, she knows that. What do you want to get her to understand now about you?
I'm sorry, and I made it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That's it. Okay? Let's do it.
One small question. Do I verbalize sweetie, or I'm just in my mind saying?
Just in your mind. I mean, you're home alone. You can do anything you want to.
So my through line is,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Because I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Okay. Yeah, it's my car. Why, you want to call a cop? Because I'm sorry. I happen to be one. A detective, as a matter of fact. Because I'm sorry. I got promoted when you weren't looking. Because I'm sorry. We haven't spoken in a while. Because I'm sorry. You should check out Springfield. I'm sorry. When did you get into town? Because I'm sorry. You could have warned me. Because I'm sorry. It's okay. So, how was New York? Because I'm sorry. I'm sure. Because I am sorry. I bet it wasn't the only offer you got. Because I am sorry. Well, are you taking it? I'm sorry. Well, how long are you staying? Because I'm sorry. On what? Because I'm sorry. I think you and I should talk about things. Because I am sorry. Only I can't now. I'm sorry. Stay with me. I'm sorry. I want us to. Because I'm sorry.
There you go.
Wow.
You having fun yet?
It's great.
Good stuff, isn't it?
Really good stuff.
Just human. It's because you've been doing it your whole life. We all have. We've all been doing this our whole lives. There's a lot of terms for this kind of stuff. I don't like terms. I just like to say, what do you want? Do you follow? A lot of terms. Subtext. You hear that word a lot? I don't like subtext. Did we ever say that to each other? What's your subtext? Last time I said that to somebody, I got punched. It was at a bar down on the Lower East Side called Ken and John's Broom Street Bar. True story, but it wasn't the reason. But that was the last time I got punched at a bar. Yeah. So you understand? Do this. It works. And you know why? Because I'm really fucking smart. No, it works because this is what you do. I've been a student of human behavior. My mother claims that I was a student of human behavior from the age of 3. Okay. I wasn't there at the time. I don't know. You understand? But being a bartender for 20 years and being an actor for 30-some years and a teacher for 28, blah, blah, blah. The point is, this shit works, and I know it does. And I've studied human behavior. And what we human beings want most is to be understood. Isn't it? Mm-hmm. We have a lot of wants out here in the real world. You know, I want that car, and I want, and I want, and I want. Do you follow? And what happens when we become actors quite often is we're hanging on to the result of what our characters want. So we act that result like crazy no matter what. And what happens is we lose the humanity. So you see underlying apology here? you understand? Even when he was laughing, even when he was joking. That's the history. The history is the apology. He fucked up. He drove her from Springfield to New York City. He drove her away. And now she's back. Holy cow, now we have a movie. Right? We have a love story. Titles of scenes. Cliches. We talk in cliches all the time. There's not many cliches in this script. Sometimes you'll get them in a script, and that's why it's so fun. You go, oh, this is the way we really talk. Like, where the fuck have you been? Wouldn't it be great to say that? You know, actually get those words in a script. Where the fuck have you been? David Mann. You follow? Now I'm going to show you something. I'm going to give you a definition here. A little academic work. A social dictate. The definition of a social dictate is a social law that's imposed upon you by those of your kind or ilk or club or group. A social law that's imposed upon you by those of your kind. And it's always in conflict in the play, the scene, whatever. Follow me? I'll give you a couple of examples. The few, the proud, the Marines. Right? It's a physical adjustment based upon a motto. It's really important to know how to do this for those of you who get job description auditions. Nurse 1. Judge. Do you follow? If it's a job description role, then you better know how to do this, because they want to see the physicality of the job description. True. That's why it is a job description. You're performing a function. You're probably not going to be on screen very long, so the audience needs to know, yep, that's a judge, other than the robes. An example of a social dictate for a judge is not in my court. Not in my court. Right? Judge Judy, the judges, most of them female. Do you understand? So for those of you females that are middle-aged, there's a lot of jobs out there for you as judges. But you'll be able to get them better when you walk in with the social dictate, which is not in my court. That's what they want to hire. They basically want to hire Judge Judy, but she's too expensive. Do you understand? Okay? Job description, even though he has a name. He's a cop. Now, we all know that most cops walk around like this. Have you ever tried to put on your waist all the things they have around their waist? They can't put their hands down like this. So thank God you're no longer a cop, because we don't want to see that in your audition. But you are a detective. So, another way to look at social dictate is when you walk into a museum and you see a statue of yourself, and on the footplate of this statue it says the motto, meaning a good detective must, do you follow? And we'll fill in the blank. But it's a physical adjustment. That's the key. Unfortunately, I was watching a showcase production of The Crucible. Don't ask me why. I was being loyal to somebody. The director, would you come and give me some notes? I said, okay, I'll have to sit through this again. But anyway, one of the characters, one of the females in The Crucible went, that was the first note. Do you understand? It made sense to her, right? Not in 16, whatever. If you watch Juliana Margulies in that show called what?
The Good Wife.
What is her demeanor?
Good.
A lawyer.
1600s. The Crucible, the Good Wife. How many names were given to women that started with good? One of them is in that play, Goody Proctor.
Oh, yeah.
Good, the Good Wife. That is her character. And when you watch her seemingly do nothing, unless you get those close-ups, that's what it is. And she's brilliant at it. She never breaks, does she? Never breaks character. Why? The Good Wife. So this is a detective. A good detective must always what? You hear it.
Be outstanding.
Be upstanding? Yeah, good. Anything else? Huh? What?
Observant.
Observant. A good detective
Must
must
have a strong sense of curiosity.
That's not a motto. Put it into a motto. Must
Get
always be
his
curious.
man.
Huh?
Get his man.
That's what it is. I'll always get my man. I always get my man. Default could be hers too. No, I'm just kidding. Okay? You understand? I always get my man. Now, in a chair, I want you to do it and say it at the same time.
I always get my man.
There you go. That's his character. That's what they want to hire. He's a detective. Now then, I want you all to watch detective shows. How many of them are there? The real and the not real. Exactly. Do you follow? Detectives are always coiffed, aren't they? Even the real ones. Anyone have any contact? No, I'm not going to ask that question. Okay. They're always coiffed. They like their bling. They have their jackets and ties, and right? They have those sensible shoes. Huh?
Designer duds.
A lot of them do, yeah. They like that kind of stuff. So what am I going to wear to the audition? Duh. Do you follow? And you're going to go in that way with that kind of demeanor. You're not going to slouch. Do you understand? This is a standing scene, probably. Do you follow? It's not going to happen. Not a detective. They want to see that walking through the door. Do you all follow that? You always must find a social dictate for a subculture, or they wouldn't bother giving it to you. Okay? You always must find a social dictate for a period piece. And the period piece goes from basically 1995 back. And most decades come with the social dictate. A big greed is good. Remember Wall Street? The 80s, the 70s, the 60s, my generation. Fuck you. I love that. I think I'm still doing it. Okay? Do you follow? Yeah, so get into character. Get into character. Yeah. You're at the audition. Get into character. Okay? Put your attention on the object of your behavior. Say what you say to her. Say what you're thinking. Sweetie, I think we found.
Sweetie.
Exactly. Okay. All right. And just begin the scene. And you are praying, correct? Yeah. Go ahead. Just stop. Don't think. Just do it. Don't try to remember anything.
Excuse me. Is that your car blocking the alley?
Yeah. You gonna call a cop?
I was thinking about it.
Wow. So what did you just see? Two characters leaving themselves alone, telling the truth for 2 lines of dialogue. Right? Because they both know what they want. So why can't they do that for 20 pages? What's the difference?
There is none.
There is none. It's just in your mind. If you've done what? Your homework. If you know what the fuck you're talking about and what you're hearing. Do you follow me? If you don't worry about being word perfect, you'll probably be word perfect. Or damn close to it. Do you follow me? So this is the beginning of, as I told you, the very first part of this seminar is exploding myths and killing sacred cows. Do you follow?
Yeah.
Because of what you do all the time. So why don't you just start doing what you do all the time? and stop trying to do what everybody else wants you to do. Because it doesn't compute. And then you all think that you're crazy or untalented or whatever. You follow me? I want you all to begin to make a living as actors by doing film and television, so you go once a year back to the stage. That's what I want. That's my mission, and has been for the past 5 years since I've been here in LA. I'm tired of watching very talented actors not make money doing what they do, which is act. Here's a big one. This is going to get you off book forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Now we're going to start and read. Now that you all have all your stuff, you can still play. But I'm going to stop you, and we're going to talk about how you craft relationships to persons, places, things, and events.
And what?
Persons, places, things, and events. Everything you hear and everything you say, you have to know. And what did we learn earlier? I felt like kindergarten there for a minute. What did we learn earlier? Dr. Phil, kindergarten. Yes, I'm absolutely out of my mind. It's okay. Oh, God. Persons, places, things, and events. Knowledge, right, comes from experience. Experience comes from events that creates an emotion, and we remember them in pictures. Now we have to work backwards. Do you follow me? Okay. Events cause an emotion that cause pictures, results in knowledge. Knowledge is an experience. Knowledge is not remembered. Knowledge is experienced. Do you all follow that? And knowledge is remembered in the body. You all have a visceral reaction to things, and the visceral reaction doesn't happen in your mind, it happens in your gut. That's an emotion, and that's where we want to put everything. Just like Meisner said, between the navel and the crotch. Okay? Boom. Relationships to persons, places, things, and events. So the writer implies how your character feels at that moment in the script about a person, place, thing, or event. From that emotion, you have to generate that just a little bit and see a picture. That's what makes it real. And we're going to do that, okay? So don't even bother thinking about this stuff, okay? Whenever you're ready, we can start. I'm going to stop you a lot like I did when we were Sherlock Holmes. It has nothing to do with your work, however.
Excuse me, is that your car blocking the alley?
Okay, what does the playwright imply your character feels at that moment about that car?
It's blocking the alley.
How do you feel about that? An
It's
emotion.
Annoying.
Annoying.
But now this is just what I know after reading the first line.
No,
or
this
the
is after
whole-
all we've done all of this.
Oh, okay.
It's not annoying at all. It's
It's
like...
it's cute. It's what he does.
That's right.
He leaves his
now
socks on the ground.
Well, you generate cute and give yourself the picture. And it doesn't have to be logical.
Yeah.
I saw his car with coontails on the aerial, because I'm from that world.
Yeah.
Born in the South in the 50s, 40s. I had a coontail on my aerial, okay? Does it make me a bad person? That's what I saw. Mm-hmm. Do you all understand that? It's real. It's my picture, and that's what your car looks like. What are you doing? You're an idiot. Do you understand? Do you follow?
Yeah.
You see what we're doing? It doesn't have to be logical. It doesn't even have to be from the text itself. Do you understand? What you said, it was kind of playful.
Yeah.
Well, make this car playful. You generate playful, and you make it playful. This is not a time to be shy and to be accurate. And for all you people who worry about being right, and you know who you are over here. You understand? Oh my goodness, how do I know? Some of you I know, so that's not fair. Okay? You understand? As you do, this is your painting. This is your sculpture. We were talking about cauldron sculpture before. Do you follow? It's wacky and crazy and fun and sad and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Yeah. Now, then you go back to the beginning of the text. Now you've done the picture. Start again, please.
Excuse me, is that your car blocking the alley?
Yeah, you're gonna call the cops?
Yeah, it's my car. Stay with the,
Oh, I'm
the
sorry.
text.
Yeah, it's my
Don't
car.
rewrite. Those guys will get really pissed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's my car.
My
Why? You
car.
want to call a cop?
Why? You want to call a cop?
Exactly. Okay. Now, it's your car. What does the playwright imply you feel about your car at that moment? What emotion? Emotion is the key. Emotion creates reality. If you don't have an emotion, it's an idea and it will vanish on you right in the middle of your audition.
Yeah, it's my car and I earned it.
Yeah. Well, how do you feel? What's an emotion? Yeah, what is that?
How do I feel?
Proud?
Proud.
There you go.
Yeah.
Proud. Do you
Yeah,
understand?
it's my car.
Well, generate proud and give yourself the picture of your car. Whoa, man. I just had one of those gull wing jobs. You know, what is that? What is that? The
DeLorean.
DeLorean or whatever? You understand? All I saw was the gull wing.
Mercedes SL.
There you go. Mercedes. There you go. Do you follow? That's the picture. That's what you use. It has nothing to do with the truth. It has to do with what? Emotional truth. And imagination. Okay, then you go back to the beginning of the text. Now, if you have 20 relationships, how many times are you going to go through the text doing it this way? 20 times. Without memorizing. When you all do a play, how many times do you rehearse a play? Think about it. 2 weeks rehearsal, how many,
14.
average? 14, 15 times? What's the problem? You're going to do this 20 times. You do a whole play 15 times. Simple, right? Start again.
Excuse me, is that your car blocking the alley?
Yeah, it's my car. Why, are you going to call a cop?
Oh my God! You see what's beginning to happen? He didn't decide to read the line that way. For all of you, give me a line reading, lazy actor people. Just tell me how to say it and I'll say it. Okay? You understand? He said it that way because it belongs to him. Yeah. Now we have the Meisner pinch ouch. Now we have what Robert Duvall talks about is you start on empty and you end on empty and make nothing precious in between and go along for the ride and find some happy accidents. That's what makes great actors great, is the surprises. This is how you build in a foundation to allow surprises to happen as opposed to crafting the surprise. Then you have to live up to that result, right? Then you think about the result, you opt out of the scene, the camera sees deer caught in the headlights of a car, and you're fucked. Stanislavski said that. He said it in Russian, but he said it. I'm telling you, he said it. Okay? So let's start again.
Excuse me, is that your car blocking the alley?
Yeah, it's my car. Why are you going to call a cop?
I was thinking about it.
Oh,
Don't try to remember it.
try to remember.
What do you say? What do you want to say?
You were thinking about it.
Mhm.
That's just great to see you. What are you doing?
No. Stay with the text.
I know.
Cop.
Cop.
What else are you going to talk about?
Oh, yeah.
Cop.
Cop. I have to be one. As a matter of fact,
A detective, as a matter of fact.
as a matter of fact.
What does the playwright imply your character feels at that moment about being a detective?
As a matter of fact means that I'm very proud of that.
That, not very. Proud.
Proud.
Very proud is a pushing actor. You're going to go, see, I'm proud, goddammit. Turn into Muhammad Ali. Right? No, you're proud. Generate proud and give yourself the picture. And every time I do this, I hear the theme from Rocky. Going up those steps in Philly, that's mine. That's why I know the line, actually. So, go to your graduation. Go to when they pinned that. What color is your badge, by the way? Nobody talked if anybody knows.
My badge? Purple. Is it gold?
The insert might be dark blue, but it's gold.
Gold.
Okay? Yeah, the gold shield. Do you understand? You can be anything. I hear the theme Rocky. Do you follow? When Rocky goes up the steps in Philly, that's what I see. Yeah, I happen to be one, as a matter of fact. Detective, as a matter of fact. You should have been there. Yeah, I missed you that day. A lot of days. Do you understand? If you can improvise around it, you own it, right? Continue. Go back to the beginning.
Excuse me, is that your car blocking the alley?
Yeah, that's my car. Why, are you going to call a cop?
I was thinking about it.
I happen to be one. As a matter of fact, I'm a detective.
There you go. See how he knows his lines? Why?
Because he owned it.
Other than the fact that he's really fucking smart, this dude. Okay, but other than that, why?
Because he put an emotion to it.
Pictures. We don't remember words in words. We're forced to remember words. Do you follow? But we don't remember in words. We remember pictures. Then the words come. The words just start coming. Go back to the beginning.
Excuse me, is that your car blocking the alley?
Yeah, it is. Why, are you going to call a cop?
I was thinking about it.
I happen to be one. A detective, as a matter of fact.
Wow, I'm impressed.
That's what you do.
I have to look.
Well, no, you haven't found the relationship.
Oh, I
You don't have the right to talk yet. You understand what just happened?
Yeah, so there's a beat there.
Well, you haven't given yourself the right to talk. You haven't created the reality. The reality is your history. So what are you about to say? That's the next line.
Well, I fucked up my line.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
What'd you do? What'd you say?
I was supposed to say, wow, that's new.
Ah, that's new, that shiny badge. See, that's what I see. That's why I know that line.
That's new.
Oh, that's new. And then you say you got what?
I got promoted.
When you weren't looking. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, what does the playwright imply your character feels about getting promoted in that moment? Once again, proud. No mystery here. Don't change it up. I'm not about, gosh, I can't feel proud 3 times in a row. Who said? Who said? Have you ever watched sports? Who said? You follow? Are we doing okay? Do you understand? Yeah, you can feel proud. So?
I got promoted when you weren't looking.
Do you understand? Proud. So, where were you when you found out you got promoted? Don't look at me. Well, I wasn't here. Where were you?
I was in my office.
Yeah? Well, tell me the details. I want to see the picture.
Well,
Sitting at your desk?
I was finishing up lunch, and a detective said he needed to speak to me, and I was a little worried, but he came in and stood at my desk and said, patted me on the shoulder, and he said, "Congratulations, detective."
Wow. Cool. Cool. You're lying. Do you understand? That's how it happens. Now did you see the picture?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now you have the right to talk about it. Until you do the picture, you don't have the right to talk about it. You're being inhuman. You're being an actor, or is what I call them, schmactors. Yeah. Okay. All right, go back to the beginning.
Excuse me, is that your car blocking the alley?
Yeah, that's my car. What, are you going to call a cop?
I was thinking about it.
I happen to be one. A detective, as a matter of fact.
Wow, that's new.
I got promoted. In case you were wondering.
But do you understand? Close. I got promoted.
As a matter of fact.
As a matter of fact.
No,
Yeah. I got promoted as a matter of fact. Yeah, do you understand? I got promoted. But you didn't say it until you had the right to say it. They think it's a moment. They go, oh, yeah. I'm not going to name the actor, but I was on a set, and a moment like that happened, and the script supervisor decided to give this actor his line. Almost. Almost. Absolutely bonkers. Do you understand? If you work this way, this is the way you work. I have a quote from Gene Hackman I like to share. He was trained, was it the Pasadena Playhouse? I can't actually remember, was it?
Yes, the Pasadena Playhouse.
Yeah, Pasadena Playhouse.
With Dustin Hoffman. They were.
Yeah, well, they were friends, but I forget who was the teacher, I can't even remember. Someone that you all would know.
Gilmore Brown.
Yeah. And he said, I worked the same way as I was taught at the Pasadena Playhouse with Gilmore Brown. I used to get fired for the way I worked. They don't fire me anymore. What does that mean? This is the way you work. This is the way I work. Do you understand? If you all keep changing the way you work, trying to satisfy someone else, after a while, you don't have a way of working. You'll have no idea who the hell you are. Big trouble. This is the way you work. This is what I do. This is how I do this. I'm giving you a way of working that I think is human. Okay? So, go back to the beginning.
Excuse me, is that your car in the alley?
Yeah, it's my car. Are you going to call a cop?
I was thinking about it.
I happen to be a cop. I happen to be one. A detective, as a matter of fact.
Wow. That's new.
I got promoted when you weren't looking.
I'm impressed.
So, why did you decide to come here?
No. You don't know, and that's fine. That's fine. You're not supposed to know. Go to the text and look at the line. What is the line?
Oh, yeah.
Well, no. Tell me what it is.
We haven't spoken in a while.
There you go. What does the playwright imply your character feels about that, the event of not having spoken in a while?
Shame.
Sad. Guilt. He's saying guilt. Okay. Guilt. Generate guilt. Give yourself the first picture. Ooh. There you go. Do you understand? No wonder you're guilty. Yeah. I got my guilt. I don't know what yours is, but I'm feeling bad for you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Do you follow? Yeah, get it out. It's okay. There you go. See? This is how you work. This is what we do as human beings. You're trained. Let your training happen. Go back to the beginning.
Excuse me, is that your car in the alley?
Yes, it's my car. Why are you going to call a cop?
Just thinking about it.
I happen to be one. A detective, in case you didn't know.
Wow, that's new.
I got promoted when you weren't looking.
I'm impressed.
We haven't talked in a while.
Happy accidents. Let's fire him. I didn't write the word talk. Fuck you. Do you know what I mean? A moment like that, they're going to go, oh, it was the wrong word? Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
We haven't
I
talked
get
in
the
a
point.
while.
I get the
Well, is it true?
Yeah.
It's true. We haven't talked in a while. But you see what's happening? And they're getting off book, and they're actually having what? Moments. You know, you can't have moments in an audition. Didn't they tell you that? It's not allowed. It's not allowed to have moments in an audition.
That's true.
I was going to ask you that question because there's a speed thing that
yeah.
seems to be.
Once you learn how to do this, you'll be a lot faster.
Okay.
Yeah, and this is the way you work. And then could you speed it up? No. They used to fire me for the way I work. They don't fire me anymore. You got to be Donald Sutherland quote. If you're willing to lose the farm, they can't blackmail you. Well, guess what, folks? The actors that you admire have been fired. A lot of them. It takes balls to work this way, to actually be an artist. Do you understand? So, you're not going to be an artist. You're going to do what everybody tells you. You're going to become a trained SEAL. You're going to lose your entire identity, and boy, is that going to be fun. If you practice this, you'll get very fast at it. In fact, it will start happening in Sherlock Holmesing. Believe it or not, all this begins to happen while you're Sherlock Holmesing. Correct, Sherry? Do you understand? It's hard to believe, but once you get this, everything starts happening. You don't have to stop and stop and stop. But I'm showing you the technique that allows you to get really fast at this. So you get the point? How to do this? Yes.
Well, how do you do it when you don't have somebody else with you?
The same way you do the through line exercise.
Okay.
Empty chair.
Empty chair.
Yeah, yeah. And you're not crafting his relationships for him.
Right.
You're crafting what is he saying for you. Mm-hmm. I got promoted. Do you follow? If once you get into it, she could even craft the imagination of where he got promoted, and what guy promoted him, because they knew each other. But I would wait once you get the job for trailer work. You know, when you're waiting in your trailer forever. Okay, wait for that. Wait for that. You all understand this? So I don't know how many relationships are in this scene. I really don't. But if there's 20, as I said before, you can find a relationship to a person, place, thing, or event like that. So if you have 20 like that, then 10 minutes, 15 minutes, do you think? Say 20 on the outside. To get off book? Amazing. And I've done this many times. In fact, Polly's sitting over there. I remember the first time I did it to her in class, I just reached up. This was in New York. I reached up, I took the script out. She went. She started doing the scene, and after the scene, she cried. Busted you. Sorry, honey.
Thanks for that.
No, because we believe that it's not possible. And when we discovered that it is possible, it's such a fucking relief.
And it was Shanley, so it was a lot of words.
Yeah, it was Shanley Piece. Yeah, it was. And that was many years ago. So I guarantee you this works. I can't make it work for you. You can make it work for you. You have to practice this. If you have any questions, call, I don't know. Okay, get my book. I forgot about the book. Get my book. We have to stop. So, this is about it. There's a couple more things that are in my book, but we're not going to do them now. Any questions? We have like 10 or 15 minutes for questions. Yes, sir.
So I'm a little confused, and I want to make sure I understand it correctly. You're saying that the pictures are created based off of your dialogue, and you're not working off the other person?
Yeah, no, it's all relationships, the persons, places, things, and events that you're hearing and you're saying. All of them. You don't know how the actor is going to say them. You just know they're going to be said. For example, when we get later on, we're not going to do it today, when we get later on, after what happened here, you have to know what that is. He's got to have his pictures and she has to have hers. And they don't have to be the same pictures. Yeah.
When you're let's say you're preparing for a casting director workshop, you've got 10, 15 minutes to work with a scene partner, with a scene you've never seen before. Do you recommend, because usually people are like, okay, let's go out and practice.
Uh-huh.
Would you recommend trying to work alone more so that you can get...
It's totally up to you. I mean, here's the thing about casting director workshop. It's about the only way to get seen these days, unfortunately. But the bottom line is, they don't put you on camera, or rarely. I think there might be one. Is there one that's now putting people on camera? Anyway, they don't put you on camera. So being on camera, being judged by your work and not being on camera doesn't make sense to me. But that's just me, okay? Because it's not a close-up. But they see that you can act. There's more room to move, more of a theatrical audition than the other. I think if they give you 10 minutes, they're going to get 10 minutes worth. If they give you 15, they're going to get 15. I think what a lot of actors do is they think they should do more. 15 minutes, if you're only giving me 10 minutes to look at the scene, you're going to get 10 minutes worth. That's it. Sherlock Holmes first, for sure. Sherlock Holmes is not something you want to do with someone else. So you have to, there's some people that like to get together, some people who don't. More of my people, I think, are now discovering that it's better if they don't, because they can craft their work really fast, while other people are trying to figure out what the hell's going on. So, does that answer your question? Okay. Yes?
So you've done all your work, and if you're reading with a casting director, which is generally what's happening, they're usually giving you nothing, which is preferable to somebody giving you something antithetical to what
That's right.
you've decided, right?
Yeah.
So you've got an antagonistic Jim instead of this guy.
That's what a casting director would do?
I'm just saying, what if you're in a situation where you're reading in the scene study workshop or something like that?
Well, now
and
wait
the
a minute.
actor's going down a much different route than...
There's two different answers. You have to tell me if it's a scene study workshop or...
Well, I'm just saying then, as Mary, instead of I want you back and bite my ass, perhaps becomes my, does it... do you have to then allow for the change that you're...
No, but I like the bite my ass thing, though. I think that's when you take off and you start improvising and say, go fuck yourself, pal, and just turn it out. Just turn it out. Just pick up a chair and smack you right in the head with it. I mean, you want reality, baby? I'll give you reality. No, but from a foundation is easy to change.
But that's, I can see where it just allows for, but then you have to be able to throw out.
Well, don't throw anything out. Deal with it.
Yeah.
Do you follow?
But I'm going to.
Well, the thing of it is don't try to hold on to your choice no matter what.
Yes, right.
Then there are no happy accidents. Do you follow? But let's face it, folks. Rarely, unless you've got just an asshole for a scene partner, where are they going to go? I mean, they'd have to go completely opposite of what the writers have written. And if you have a scene partner, I hope you have a director, and the director will say, "Get off that shit. That's not what's written here. You're doing a different play."
Let's see if I can understand this.
Oh, I'll try.
Bringing in what she said and what he said, and what you said earlier about we do this every day in life. So let's say I'm going to break up with my boyfriend.
Oh man.
Let's just say in real life. I'm sitting and I'm talking. I'm in my car. Okay, I know he's going to start trying to convince me. So I'm already making expectations of what I expect, and I already have in my head what I think. And then when I meet him, that history's already been in place. And then whatever happens.
Yeah, but that's not actually what you do. You don't hold on to one thing he's going to do.
No, you don't hold on. But in real life.
In real life, all possibilities start flooding into you. So whichever one of those possibilities ends up being the one that happens, you'll.
I mean, I had expectations of this class today when I got here, and then everything came.
And then I failed you miserably.
No.
Oh man!
It's better than
that's
what I
a backwards way of kicking me in.
I'm just trying to say to incorporate that in my work. I mean, it came out better than what I expected.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. But you had. Usually we have a lot of different stories going on at the same time. So one of them will probably happen.
I just a comment on what's currently being talked about. When you guys finally did the scene together, it was amazing how you were being affected by each other. You went through it once with what you want, and then it was modulated significantly as you went through together. And,
that's right.
And I think probably what that's about is because you've got this other work going, you're not projecting ahead to what's going to happen, so you're in the moment. You're actually drifting and floating in the moment.
And I'm so glad you said that, because when I first came here to LA, I heard this comment a lot. What they're really looking for, Tim, is layered performances. So now we're cakes. Oh, fuck. Layered performance. Do you understand? Well, what you saw was layered performance. Do you understand? They weren't trying. Yes, they weren't trying to be layered, but they gave them all the foundation, all the marbles, if you will. Do you understand? That allow them in the moment to be affected, and that's human. That's what. That's the magic of great acting. Yeah.
So what you're saying is, the more specific you get, it's all about being specific.
Absolutely.
And the more specific you get, the more real it becomes.
Absolutely.
And if it's real, then it's honest.
Dead on.
You know, it's that simple, right?
Yeah. Well, it is simple. Honesty is very, very simple. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was wondering about the imagination. You talked about the cars. Where she thought about the car, when you thought about it, and then you went with the gold wing.
That was mine. I don't know what his
Now,
was.
I was just wondering. Now, a lot of times I would like to like bigger imagination than what it is. So, I mean,
That's pretty big. That that DeLorean is.
Yeah.
Come on.
But like you see detectives' car and stuff like that. They you're just making
No,
it.
it doesn't have to be factual. It doesn't have to be
It can go
real.
beyond.
It can go beyond. It's absolutely creative.
Right.
That's what kids do. You know, my daughter can take this little iron truck and give it 4 voices in about 10 minutes. About all kinds of things. Do you understand? It's an emotional reality, not a factual reality. Do you understand?
Yeah.
I'll give you a perfect example of this. I was coach. Somebody else had a question. Hold on 1 second. Is that he could not get emotional. He just couldn't. He was blocked. So I said, well, what if your sister was in a car wreck and it was too big for him? Well, I went through several things. And then one day he came to class and I overheard him talking to a fellow student about his car. And those who study with me know never, ever talk in my class because I will use it against you. So, I was sitting in my chair getting ready to teach someone. Oh, Ari. Oh, Jesus Christ, I forgot to tell you. They towed your car. I thought he was going to have it. And then I said, so you see there, you motherfucker, you can get emotional. So stop your shit. Did you remember Ari?
No.
Oh, you didn't know him? Okay. Anyway. Enough said there. And I lost a friend doing that, actually. We were more friends than teacher-student, and he was an actor that I will not name. And he couldn't get emotional, and he wasn't getting work because they wanted him to be an emotional actor because he had that kind of demeanor to him. And so we're sitting in class. I did the same thing, and I said, Michael, I said, Princey got hit by a car, which was his dog. And he never spoke to me after that. But he fell apart. And I said, it's a lie. You can get emotional, so stop your shit. And he never spoke to me after that. And he's kind of a famous actor. Named Michael, I won't give you the last name. True, absolutely true story.
Have you ever seen The Champ?
Huh?
You ever seen The Champ?
The Champ? Yeah.
You know when the little kid breaks down and cries? You know what the story is behind that?
No, what is
The
it?
director walked up to the kid and went, come here.
Oh,
The kid walks over, I think his name's Ricky Schroeder.
Yeah.
He goes, it's really bad news for you.
Yeah.
Your grandmother just died.
Okay.
And he burst out in tears and he went, action! And started shooting it.
There are directors who do that. I think there's other ways to get that done. But when you're dealing with a grown-up who is an actor who's literally losing jobs because they think they can't get emotional, and they come to me saying, I don't know why I'm not working. The first 2 films were big hits and blah, 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 blah. And I fixed him. So he hasn't worked since, actually, that I know of. It's true. It's true. He was brilliant, too. Handsome, brilliant. I'm not going to tell you who it is. Yes, sir. You were a long time ago.
Well, I have 2 things. First of all, I want to compliment you and thank you for these several hours together with you.
Thank you.
As an actor, I've learned considerably.
Great.
The process, seeing the process visually, going from first time reading, then having people do the Sherlock Holmes, and going back, and each time we went back, I learned something new from it.
Mhm.
Saw something new on it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all well and fine. As an actor, if you do that and you prepare yourself and you go to a casting office and there's a casting director and you come in ready and the casting director is in the script and it's like,
Doesn't matter. If you do this work, it doesn't matter. You can work off an empty chair.
so if you have a mental picture of who you're working with or what
It's not a mental picture, it's an emotional reality.
then it doesn't make
It's not
any
even a
difference.
picture. It's an emotional reality. Yes.
As she touched on before, what about, because, I mean, there is a definite speed factor in it, and when you're doing all of this and taking these moments, especially, well, comedy, for sure, you can't. But in, what about that speed and that timing?
Well, that's what I said to her. I said, the more you practice this, the faster you get.
Tim, can I just say something?
Yeah, yeah.
I've been doing this for like, a lot of years. And it is what he says, you get to the point where while you're Sherlock Holmesing it, the pictures are happening in your head. So that when you're in the moment where you're reading with the casting director or whoever it is, you don't have to be like, I'm feeling and then saying. It happens on the
Yeah. You don't have
It's a
to.
matter of practicing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this, it was to show you how it's done. And to take that time, you need,
You're training yourself.
right.
You all know Tai Chi Chuan? Okay. When you watch it, what does it look like? Absolutely painfully slow. Have you ever watched them fight? They're a blur. Muscle memory. You can go as fast as you can breathe and talk once you learn how to do this. But you know what? A lot of times they won't stop you because you're so truthful. Don't forget, they're used to watching actors that are not prepared. And you come in prepared, they may want that break. Just let her go. God, this is great. Everything sucked into you guys. Thank you. Just speed it up a little bit next time, okay? But my God, thank you. So, don't put any can'ts. Don't put any don'ts.
And one more quick
Yeah.
question. What, say, God forbid, it's something really last minute and you're not off book and you've got 6 pages or whatever. It was.
You don't have to be off book. You don't have to be, unless they ask you to. And they give you 6 pages at the last minute, fuck them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Because it was very distracting for him, and it's like he broke emotionally from the audience, from my, I don't know. Every time he had to put his glasses on and look down and then look at her.
Right. Well, what's your question? I'm not
My
sure
question is, if someone, because I was taught like to have the script like this,
No,
especially if
do
you're
not
taped,
do that. I'm
so
begging
you're not
you.
looking
Don't
down and
make
they
me
don't
get on
see.
my knees. I'm begging you not to do that.
But I mean, that's a big difference when.
Yeah, well,
if
put your
they're
script
taping
up again. Okay? Now your script is in front of you, and that's what we see.
No, I mean, say the
No,
camera
it's in
is
front
your
of you.
bottle,
It's in front of you. Your script is in front
but
of
it's
you.
off camera.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe.
You know, like if it's to the side.
Oh,
it's
now
off
you're
camera,
pushing
then
it
you can
further.
just
Okay, well.
Pick it up.
Exactly.
No.
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 Whites of your eyes as you're looking to the side.
No. Do you understand? Reach down and grab your words. Okay, I'll show you an exercise. You push me into it. Action spot on the wall. Put a script in your lap. Okay? Grab the first 3, 4, 5 words. Go back to the spot and say it out loud. Got me?
Okay.
Then you have to come back exactly where you left off. Pick up the next series of words and go back and say it to the spot. You do that 3 pages, twice a day, different scripts, for 2 weeks. You'll be able to grab tons of words off the script.
Because I usually, you know.
What? Memorize your words?
No, I think that's death.
Then how do you do it?
Normally, it comes. I just went in on something and it came very naturally.
Oh, well, that's great.
Which is
Then
amazing.
what's the problem?
But it usually doesn't. That's.
Oh.
I usually have a block on that.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, but I don't hold my script. I'm usually I guess I do try to memorize.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Sounds like it.
Most of it.
Sounds like
yeah.
it.
Now that I think about it.
I'm
I never used to.
now I'm really
I used to
confused.
just act right off the script.
Yeah.
You know.
I've worked with several people who have photographic memories, and the good side and the downside of that is the downside is they see the pages. Any people with photographic memories here? You see the pages?
Yep.
Giant pain in the ass. Make sure the relationships are really clear, or we're going to see you watch the pages. And a lot of actors go, "Wow, photographic memory! I wish I had one of those." And I go, "Back up, partner." No, because you see the pages. So relationships helps that a great deal. Okay. Any other questions? Yes.
In regards to this exercise,
Mhm.
different script every day?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Twice a day of the same script?
Yeah. It's just for reading, and it's not about the script. And you can use anything. You can use a magazine. You can use a book. Yeah. It just trains you to grab bunches of words and not have to read. And then the dog jumped over the fence. Do you follow? You grab the whole thing. Yeah. What, no. Yes.
A lot of the things actors are given, like The Dark Knight, and watching that movie a few times, the close-ups were so amazing. It's like, what are these actors? You're not really using, and even what's his name that has the British actor who played the
Christian
Bale. Michael Caine. I mean, how do you make that material? How do they make that material? I mean, they were top actors, all of them in the movie. And how they made it so important when it's just a cartoon, basically. I mean,
Well, they didn't think of it as a cartoon. They were playing for real. Yeah.
so they kind of rewrote the script in their heads.
Well, that's what we have to do. That's what we've been doing all day. You follow? Not rewriting the words, but making the words ours. Because this is all we've got. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Game of Thrones. I watched every episode in one sitting. And I can't tell you how good I became with a sword. I was ready for anything. Yeah.
How many seasons were there?
It was just one. Now, they've been renewed, so yeah.
Tim, can you give some advice on some scripts that are sometimes a lot of exposition or technical
it's
stuff?
a pain in the ass.
How to apply this with
Exposition is just a giant pain in the ass.
and technical ideas that are not relationship oriented.
Yep. What I suggest you do is to translate it into a language that you understand. It's like paraphrasing for Shakespeare. Translate it into what the line means to you, and bring the behavior to the line. Yeah, it's hard to actually
Because the
talk
purpose
about.
of it is really to give the exposition for
I know.
for the whole thing, rather than display your character, although you still have to be.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And it depends on what the language is. You understand that astronauts speak. You know what I mean? And it's just technical stuff. Doctors speak. Exactly.
Lab tech, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, you can do this work for that, and it helps. But they're giving you dialogue that's inhuman.
Well, because you can't necessarily attach the emotional reality to all of those things.
That's exactly right.
That's the difficulty.
Then attach it to the relationship, whoever you're talking to. You've got to ground yourself somewhere. Yeah. So you can use. Now, I've given you all a lot of tools in the toolbox. That doesn't mean you use every tool every time. You only use the tools that you need. You have to practice this so you know what the tools are good for. Do you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Yes.
I was just trying to wonder, with doctors and stuff, I mean, I have a friend who's a molecular biologist, and when he talks about DNA, it's totally alive to him.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean,
Thank God.
See that billion miles or whatever.
Yeah.
Stuff. So he rolls on, and I sort of go to my happy place.
Yeah, exactly.
And I can see why that's his career.
Oh, yeah.
He gets that thing.
Well, listen to the dude who runs NASA.
Yeah.
That dude, he's fucking wired, man. And he just goes on and on and on. And it's marvelous, but I'm glad I don't have to say it. But he's experienced it, so it helps to experience the best way you can in terms of, pictures. What are you seeing? It's just hard stuff. Any other questions about real stuff? I know exposition is just a pain in the butt. There's no more questions? Oh, man. Yes, I thought so.
Can you talk again about starting on empty and ending on empty? I
Yeah.
get the starting on empty part, but and then building from there.
Well, if you've done your homework between points A and Z, A and Z, okay, and you have all the letters in between, which are relationships to persons, places, things, and events, and all of that kind of stuff, when you have satisfied all of those, then there should be none left. Okay, happy accidents can happen. Do you follow? And I talked about putting a button on the end of a scene. If you fall off a cliff, I'll call you later. It's what you're thinking, what you would say if you could. Boy, I hope so. Do you understand? You may not be able to say it, but you sure can do this. I was doing this in New York. Oh God, this woman. She's just wonderful. She's very, very heavy-set black woman with a smile about as big as this stage. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful woman. Funny, oh my God. And I almost never asked this question about what were you using, but I had to ask her. I had to. And we were both from the South, so we were kind of teasing each other about that because there's a lot of isms in the South, little things, you know. And she said, It was so clear, and the entire room cracked up. It was the camera just ate her up. That was the first moment of the scene. It's like what did you call her? Sweetie. Well, what was yours? Did we ever do yours? What was he? To you.
Honey.
Honey. Honey. There you go. You follow hers was. Man. Yes, sir.
You talked about close-ups and blinking eyes.
Oh, yeah.
Exercises?
There's no exercises. I get a camera, and every time that you blink, just hit yourself with a baseball bat. In a way, that's what I do in class. You know, when we do the playback, I go blink, 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 look away, blink, blink, and finally the student says, "Would you just stop?" Torture. Okay. Several things. One. We live in a desert, it's dry, so I think probably everyone needs eye drops at some point or another if they're trying to, keep their eyes open for a close-up. Especially if you have air or air conditioning or fans going or that kind of stuff. So I think it's important for you all to keep a little bottle of whatever, with you. And if you know what you're talking about, it's amazing how we don't blink when we really know what we're talking about. That helps. And get a camera and watch yourself. And the torture of that happening will help you stop. And believe me, I've worked with people who had amazing blinking, rolling, unbelievable facial mannerisms, and they have disappeared. Okay, and I mean amazing. So.
The people disappeared or the mannerisms? Sorry.
Well, there was one or two. Stop blinking or I kill you.
Tim,
yes, sir.
Can we expand a little more on that because immediately my mind goes to Michael Parks in the Kill Bill second, and he's playing this other role that he'd already played the sheriff, and he looks like a totally different person. He's
yes, he did. It was brilliant performance.
And he's like maybe drunk and he's blinking.
Yep.
What? Is that not allowed?
No, that's part of his character. That's a whole different thing. You don't want to blink unless it's part of your character.
Okay, so
and you guys are not going to run into that.
Okay,
this is not going to happen.
Just if you know what you're talking about, you're direct. Is what you're saying. Okay.
I mean, the only people that can actually get away with eye rolling, which is the kind of thing, are teenagers because it's so much part of the teenage behavior. But you get somebody my age going. Doesn't work too well. Okay, or just eye rolling. The minute you look away, the scene stops unless you're looking at an object that's in the text.
So watch The Good Wife and watch
Damages. Glenn Close. Yeah, watch Damages.
It's one thing somebody said a long time ago that Christian Slater
Mm-hmm.
drives him. He can't even watch him because he's always looking over the
That's
side
right.
to grab his line. You know what I mean? Like he's always.
Yeah, Brando is that way too. But don't confuse yourselves, okay, with folks who have gotten the job.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay? You know, when you have a lot of power, then you can get away with a lot more. Meryl Streep gets away with every wrong thing to do on camera you can think of in terms of her face.
Really?
But she's so damn good and so cute. She's just cute.
What?
You follow?
What did she do?
Oh, she all that mugging stuff and that cute thing she does with her mouth and all that. I had the pleasure of working with her, and she didn't do that when we were working, but now as she gets older, she gets away with more. So she was, I watched her for about 10 minutes in character decide on what drawings she was going to show me in the scene. And it was just marvelous to watch her go through and hand the prop guy the drawings that her character wasn't going to use. Mm-hmm. The isolation that she had, and we were right across the desk from each other for 16 hours one day, and it was absolutely fabulous to watch her work. The actors of note that I've worked with, this is how they work. They don't just show up. Mm-hmm. They do their work. That's why they are who they are. And they all have little different ways of doing it, but it's, basically this is what it is. They get down to the human level of things. Any other questions? None? Yes?
I don't want to beat a dead horse about the...
Oh, beat the dead horse. It's dead anyway.
I'm on board with you about the human behavior, but I'm not sure I understand what the deterrent is for blinking, because that's what we do.
The deterrent what?
Why is that a problem when you blink?
When you blink. I didn't hear the word blink. Sorry. Do you know have you ever seen yourself on the big screen?
Medium screen.
Medium screen. How big is your eye? Huge.
Yeah.
And what happens is we start watching your eyes close when we should be watching you. So the eyes become, movement, motion. Have you ever watched home movies? What's the difference between films and home movies? $10 million. Too much business, too fast, too chaotic. Do you follow? Human behavior that you don't quite understand. Understand? So what we have, okay. But what you have in an audition is you have a close-up, and they want to see how much you know of what they wrote. And they can only see that in your eyes. So the minute you blink, they lose that. Well, watch The Good Wife. You'll see the best do it. And the reason I say Good Wife is because there's so many actors on there that are theater trained, that are wonderful, and they do so many close-ups, and there's so much intrigue, inner office as well as outer office intrigue in that show. You see what they're thinking, and it's in their eyes. Chris Noth gets away with a little.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
It's okay. Don't get exceptions on me now. So eyes are important. Eyes are important in the animal world. Have you ever tried to? Do you have a dog?
No.
Have you ever tried to stare at a dog?
Yeah.
It means something.
Yeah.
The minute that you blink, and if you're blinking a lot, then we don't see your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So then we lose. Yeah. Any other questions about that?
Can I say something?
Yeah.
People tend to blink too, especially as actors. I know I had this problem, and he's helped me with it. When things get uncomfortable, I'll blink. I love you. You're important to me. And people do it, and it's something in the script that makes you uncomfortable. But if you're really interested in what someone else is saying, your interest keeps your eyes open.
Right.
I love you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And but don't misinterpret that thinking that if my character is uneasy, my character is going to blink a lot. It doesn't. Don't forget, this is not real life. This is a technical thing. This is, close up is a technical monster. It's not real life. It's not supposed to be real life. You understand? Nobody in life does this for 20 minutes and talks to you. You understand? It doesn't happen. And if you don't believe me, when you go to New York, just try doing that on the subway. Ooh, then we have to call the cops. Yeah, so it's there are exceptions. There's little things you do. You see actors get away with murder, some of them, blah 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 blah. It's but it's an audition. That's what you do mostly. It's an audition camera. It's a close-up camera. It's a 2T shot, and we want to see. If I'm writing this, I want to look in her eyes, and I want to know that she knows everything that I wrote. And if she starts closing her eyes and rolling her eyes, I can't see if she knows everything that I wrote. It's that simple. Okay, and it's not staring, okay? All right? Don't confuse the two. It's not, okay, I'm going to look at her no matter what. Do you follow? Okay? And if I know what I'm talking about and I know what I'm hearing, do you understand? I will not blink and you'll see everything that I know about what you wrote. It just works. But you have to practice all this stuff. You know, I can show you this in 4 or 5 or how many hours, but you have to practice it. Okay? Get together and practice it a lot. You do it. That's what you do mostly, right? It's audition. Get good at it. What a thought. Oh, yeah. Any other questions?
How about a giant thank you?
No, well, thank you.